Hi, I'm Jennifer Janish, owner of Adored Salon and Adored Signature Hand-Tied Hair Extensions. I'm obsessed with curly hair. I cut it, style it, and extend it, and this podcast is all about my curly girl obsessions that stretch far beyond just curly hair. Hey there, it's me, Jennifer, from the Curly Girls Obsessions, Adored Salon, and Adored Signature Hand Tied Hair. Today, I have a friend with me. Her name is Lisa. She was actually the model of one of our classes on the Curl Tour in Wisconsin. And she still has her amazing extensions in. We're going to talk today about her journey to hair extensions, her lifestyle, what it takes to upkeep them, and then we'll just talk about curly girl things. So, Lisa, tell us about you.
About me. Well, let's see. I have, oh gosh, I've got four kids. I'm busy. I work from home. I also go in the office. Life is kind of crazy right now. We're in the middle of a home remodel. Just trying to figure out life. But yeah, I try to live an active lifestyle, outside of work and everything. We're always kind of on the go. We're always outside. We're always doing something. Um, And, I've kind of struggled with my hair my entire life, as every curly girl would say, it's always been a love-hate relationship. And when I was a kid, my mom would always say, oh, people pay so much to have your hair. Well, okay, they can have it. So it's been a journey to get where I'm at, and I love where I'm at now.
What brought you to embracing your curls?
I destroyed them, actually. When I first graduated from high school, I moved out for the first time and I dyed my hair red, which was a really terrible idea. It was box dye. And as naturally, it completely destroyed it. Stringy, nasty, had to grow out. There's no cutting that could save it. And then from then on, it was, kind of a wake up call. Hey, this hair is delicate and it should be taken seriously. And you should find people who will take care of it for you. So that's kind of when my curly journey started. Essentially, I stopped straightening it. I stopped, doing all the things to it that damaged it and just kind of embraced more of the curl.
Um, so is that when you found Callie at Sapphire
Yeah.
or
I've lived in Wausau for about 6 years now. I grew up in the Minneapolis area. And I had somebody up there who cut my hair, and then I moved down here, and it was kind of a struggle to find somebody who could cut curly hair. And then I was Googling one day and I came across Sapphire Salon and I saw that she was a curly hair specialist. So I said, okay, cool, let's get a haircut. I got a haircut by her back in July and I loved it. It was the best haircut I've ever had in my entire life. And I finally felt like somebody actually understood curls, and I walked out of there feeling super confident.
isn't that the best? Like
Yeah.
I've been posting so this podcast will air after the podcast that I'm going to talk about. I recorded an appointment with one of my clients and she talked about her salon life growing up, and we discussed how hard it was, like as a curly girl, going into a salon, getting a haircut, and just the way that things would be portrayed, like, oh, your hair is so unruly, so this, so that, never making you feel proud of your curls, then
Mhm.
causing you to flat iron them and do all the things, right? And so it when a curly haired person leaves a salon and says that they feel confident, like that speaks volumes about that stylist because she did her job tenfold, right? She could cut your hair in a way that made you love it. Two, she didn't shame you for the curls that you had or make you think that they needed to be smoothed out, curled with a curling iron, none of the above. And you left happy and excited over your hair. And back to you saying about the red hair, how it destroyed your hair. Isn't it crazy to think like everybody thinks of curly hair as coarse, curly, thick, strong. It's more, it's not as strong as straight hair.
Mhm.
And that's because at every bend there is like a it it creates an opening in the cuticle. That's where the cuticle is raised. That's what causes it to not have the strength. And every bend is sorry, shutting off my notifications, an opportunity for breakage. And so a lot of people don't realize it, but color is the most, well, one of the most, I would say probably hot tools is the most drying when it comes to curly hair because people with curly hair think that they need to turn it all the way up. They got to hold it forever. They scorch it. And then the minute that you burn your hair or that you damage it, now your ends are straight. Did you
Yeah.
go through that where it
Oh
was
yeah.
like permanently straight for a
Yeah.
long time until it was cut off?
Hmm.
Um, and then what brought you to Adored Signature Hair?
When I went to get my hair cut by Callie the first time, we were just kind of talking about hair. And, I had mentioned that I was on the lookout for hair extensions just because I kind of mentioned it to everybody that I meet because I've been looking for them for so long. And she happened to mention to me that she was taking a curly hair class in October. And I said, hey, that's awesome. If you need, after you get certified, if you want someone to practice on, or, just when you're up and running, like put me on your list. I want to be on your list, please, for the love of God. Call me out here. And then I went to the gym with the owner of the salon, Kelsey. And when the time came that they, put out there, they were looking for a curly hair model. I felt like a stalker because I saw it on Callie's and I messaged her right away and I was like, please let me be your model. And I saw it on Sapphire's Instagram page and I messaged them and I said, please let me be your model. So I was messaging everybody. It worked out and they picked me and it was awesome.
That is so funny. Like in it, it's so unique in the sense that it is naturally curly hand-tied hair extensions from India. They just don't exist, right?
Mm.
So like finding it is like finding a needle in a haystack. You being a curly girl, searching it out, wanting them. Was it because you had postpartum hair loss?
Yes,
Or
I it was a rough 2 years. It was postpartum hair loss. It was stress. I'd gone through a very stressful year, and it just, yeah, just I needed a little bit. I need some help.
get some thickness back in there. And
Mhm.
then now your lifestyle, you're a
Mhm.
mom.
Yes,
How many kids do you have?
4.
You have 4 kids. Oh my gosh, why did I think you only had 2? I didn't know you had 4.
I've got 2. I've got 2 of my own, and I've got 4 total. We've got stepkids, and they're here half the time. So half the time, our lives are just crazy.
Yeah, I have 4 kids. I know. It's
Mhm.
insane. I'm like, mine are older now, so they're ages 23 through 16, and for the first time in my life, I feel like I have all this free time. I'm like, I don't even know what to do with myself. I'm begging them to eat dinner with me. I'm like, come on, please sit with me. Mom, I gotta go to work. Mom, I got this, I got that. I'm going to work out or do this. And it's so different because your kids, how old are yours?
They
All
are the
four.
oldest is 10, and then 8, and then 2.5, and 1.5. So we're right in the thick of it. And I think right now it's kind of like, can you please just let me eat by myself?
Right. You're the reverse, right? You're like, just a moment. Let me go
Yeah,
to the Target in the car with the music blasting.
exactly. Freedom for 5 minutes, please.
I remember those days like yesterday. That's the craziest part is that before you know it, it'll be like you're through it.
Mhm.
But with your last two being as close as they are, my last two were 12 months and 3 weeks apart. How far apart are yours? You said 1 and 2,
16 months, yeah.
16 months. So yeah, it would have almost been easier to just have twins.
Yeah.
Have you found like the one that was older, like I was like, oh no, we're not doing this potty training thing until the other one is ready. Like and the older one practically potty trained herself. She was like, yeah, I'm not doing this anymore. And she's my third one, and she is so independent. And
Mhm.
I think it was because I was always like juggling between them. And of course, the baby always needed more than she needed. And
Mhm.
she was kind of like a mother. She just kind of has that personality, like a mother to the baby. But holy hell, like that's kind of all I remember of that time. And because you're in insanity right now.
Mhm.
Like the 1-year-old is probably just starting to walk, right?
Yep. And
The
he's out.
2-year-old? And is the 2-year-old, like, pushing the 1-year-old down?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
It's Fight Club in this house all the time.
Oh my god, I can just see it right now. I so remember that. Oh my gosh. So, then how do you have time for your hair?
Well, I mean, the nice thing is it's easy. So I only have to do it once a week. It's literally I pick a day, either Saturday or Sunday. You know, if I need a refresh during the week, I'll pick like a day that I work from home, so Thursday or Friday. But Saturday or Sunday is my day, and that's the day. You know, my husband handles the kids. I take 2 hours, I do my hair, and then I am done for the entire week. And it's actually very easy.
Isn't that, like, insane to think that that's all that it takes? And you can you do your hair once, you feel good for the entire week because it morphs into different styles as you go along.
Hmm.
You put it up in a bun and you still feel cute because, like, the bun is bigger than your head practically. You're still at 3 rows.
Yep.
So, I'm sure I keep switching the camera. Like, I took out my 3 rows and I put in 2 rows for volume just to see what it would be like, but
Hmm.
3 rows is, like, epic hair.
Yeah. Yeah.
Epic hair. Your bun is bigger than your head sometimes, right? Like, I mean, it's huge, but it just always looks good, always feels good. That is the part too that I kind of sometimes think is a misconception about styling it. Um, People will think that extensions is more high maintenance, it takes longer to do your hair. Um, and maybe on the front end, it takes a while to do your hair that first day, but then, like, if it's divided out over 7
Yeah.
days, like, it's hardly anything.
Right.
What has been the biggest challenge with the extensions for you?
Oh gosh, I think for me, just kind of I was before this, I was a very big hair up person. And I can still put my hair up, but now I don't want to because it looks so nice. So it's just, having the hair down all the time is just an adjustment for me, but in a good way. Like, hey, I'm
Mhm.
confident enough to have my hair down because I have enough of it. I don't feel like it's like thin. I don't feel that it's stringy. It's just nice, full, beautiful hair. And I get compliments all the time. And I think that's been the biggest adjustment for me. But, as far as lifestyle goes, my lifestyle hasn't changed at all. I haven't had any issues with it.
What do you do with it when you're working out?
Usually I will do like just a low back pony. Or on days when it's not so like maybe like the last couple days of it being styled when it's a little bit messier, I'll take it and I'll wrap it in like a low bun if I'm running or something. And it stays great and it's not too hot and it doesn't get frizzy. It doesn't pull at all on my head, it's just a loose ponytail. So that's usually what I do. Or I'll do a
That's
clip.
that's I put mine usually up in, like, a high bun, which is easier with only 2 rows in. Um Sometimes I would find when I did have in 3 rows and you're working out and the hair is heavy on top of your head. Sometimes, I'd be like, "Oh my god, I'm really sweating." But it and I felt like too, the more that I sweat with my hair, the better it looked throughout the week. Like, it just got fuller and more broken apart, and
Yeah.
I just loved, like, how it looked. And that was everybody's like, "Oh my god, how do you work out with all that hair?" And I'm like, "I just I deal with it."
You just do it. It's the
Right.
same as anybody else.
The hair is more the win. That's how I felt, like, there's no point in working out if I didn't have this hair, so,
That's
that
why she's
sounds
just sassy. I got the ponytail and I'm like swinging it around. Like, look at me.
it sounds so shallow to say that, right? But, like, it's the truth,
Yeah.
once you have it in, you're, like, a for lifer. Um, what else was I gonna ask you about, how do you feel the hair feels in comparison to your own hair?
Honestly, I don't even notice the difference. It feels like it's just my hair. There's sometimes I'll be like, you grab your hair and you're playing with it. And you're like, oh wow, like, oh, my hair's gotten so long. Oh, that's the extension. Like it feels the same. And I mean, it was the same curl pattern as my hair, which that was the biggest thing that I was worried about getting extensions, because everybody has different hair patterns. And I'm like, oh, it's going to be noticeable. People are going to obviously know that I have extensions because it's going to be different. And it's not. And I think nobody who doesn't know who I am knows that I have extensions. And everybody that, compliments my hair, if I tell them, oh, it's extensions, oh my God, you could never tell. I would never have known. It looks so great. And that's the biggest thing for me. That was the most special part of the whole thing was that I was like, I feel natural. Because, I never
Yeah.
wanted to be that person who obviously had extensions, but I just wanted the long hair.
Did you ever have long hair?
No, the longest my hair has ever gotten is like to here. And every single time it gets that long, you sacrifice the integrity of your hair, and then you have to go in and get a haircut because it takes so long to get there, and then it's broken. And, through just, if I were to get it that long, then I go without a haircut for however long, and then it gets super damaged. And it's just kind of a cycle. So I've never really had long hair. I've never been able to grow it.
Wow. So this is the first time that you've had long hair with our extensions.
Yeah.
I one time, this is just a total side note, crazy story. I still do wear extensions to this day. I had a client come to me on her 50th birthday, and she was like, I just want a ponytail for once in my life. Like, I want to ride my bicycle and put my hair in a ponytail. I want to work out and I want to put my hair in a ponytail. She could never grow her hair past here. It was super fine, thin. Her hair was straight, but it was like that baby hair.
Yeah.
And we started putting extensions in. She was one of my first extension clients 15 years ago. She started out with K-tips. She's since transitioned into hand-tied hair. And um because of the texture of her hair being so fine and thin, it would break a lot with the K-tips in. But once we started with hand-tied hair, now her hair is, I have to cut her hair every time I do a raise on the extensions because it's grown past. So now she wears one row for volume because she is able to get her hair to grow long. And it just, I mean, for me, when I was a kid, I always had long hair. When I stopped having long hair was postpartum hair loss after those two that were back to back for 2 years. It was like, your body's been pregnant for 2 years, holding on to all these hormones. So now we're just going to shed it all, including your hair.
Yeah.
And for the first time in my life, then you could see through my hair. And that was when I started doing extensions because I'm like, this is not okay.
Yeah.
I'm not used to this. And so, yeah, I often think of her when people tell me like that they could never grow their hair long because it always, to me, I was always like, huh? But then I met someone who really couldn't grow their hair long.
Hmm.
And you'd think as a hairstylist, like I'd have so many of those stories. But
Hmm.
I think it just probably I- and I don't know, maybe it was just the time or maybe it just stands out that much in my head. But being moms dealing with the postpartum hair loss and just I think too our sleep deprivation,
Yeah.
the lack of good food, because I mean, no matter how hard you try, I mean, I remember, is this you? Like the mac and cheese looked so much better than my salad, or like their little grilled cheese bits, or whatever it was that I made for them.
Hmm.
Even if I wasn't hungry for it, I'd still freaking eat it. Like,
Yeah.
I'd be like, "Why am I touching this? Like, I know it's not good." And why, it's so funny I say that. Why am I touching this? I know it's not good for me. Why did I make it for them? Why
Hmm.
did I? But, easy food, easy life. And that was, I think, the thing when my kids were little was anything that I could do to make my life easier
Hmm.
because they sucked the life out of me. Like it was just a continuous pattern of like being exhausted. And so having the hair extensions in your life to remove that factor, do you
Hmm.
do them on a day like when your husband's home?
Yeah.
So then he's takes care of them and you,
Yeah.
yeah, that would be because how long does it take you from start to finish?
From start to finish takes about hour and a half, 2 hours, depending on how quickly I want to move. I mean, usually I'll stretch it out because it's kind of like my me time. So I take my time. I really, enjoy myself. And yeah, that takes about 2 hours. But then it's done and that's it.
That's pretty awesome. That's about how long it takes me now too. I'm impressed that it's 2 hours that it takes you with 3 rows. I feel like when I had 3 rows, but I had almost twice as much hair on my head as you have on yours, which is ridiculous, right? Like, I'd be like, oh, this looks too thin, sew in another weft. Why am I seeing it look thin in the back? Like, and the girls at the salon would be like, what is actually wrong with you?
Mhm.
What is wrong with you? How is this? Sorry, my daughter's coming home, so my dogs can hear her and they're barking. Um, but yeah, they would make so much fun of me because I was literally like a hair. I couldn't get enough hair in my head.
Mhm.
And my one daughter, London, she was a model for a class, and she always wore one row of extensions. And for the class that she was a model, we put in 2 rows because we were creating all this length.
Mhm.
And she was like, "Oh my gosh, I need my 1 row back. I need my 1 row back." And can you close the doors here, Lou? She just came home. And she's like, "You're gonna love it for volume." And when I took out those extensions, because tell me this, right? Like every time you go out, does someone notice your hair?
Yes, every time. Oh my God, your hair is beautiful. Your hair is so gorgeous. Oh, I love your hair. Yeah.
So take them out, right, and lose about 8 inches of length and a ton of fullness. Because I just had to do this. Like I just had to try it for the fullness. I'm
Mhm.
like, London, I don't know if I can handle this. And no, people hardly notice my hair anymore. She's like, what are you talking about? Every time we go somewhere, someone says something about your hair. I'm like, oh my God, it's kind of like a complex.
I know, especially when I get the extensions raised up and then she takes all of them out and, we do all the color and whatnot. I'm like, oh my God, do I have any hair left? I feel like I don't have
Oh,
any. My hair is gone.
it's like just turn yourself away from the mirror at that point.
Well, I can feel it though. Like last time she had my extensions out, she was like, "Oh my gosh, your hair is getting super long." And it is getting long. I think right now it's about the same length as the extensions. It's just a lot thinner. And that's only since October. And it was like up to here when you put them in. And I can feel the difference that the thickness is coming back that I had before babies. And you can tell like the thickness goes to like here and then it thins out at the end. So, having them in, my hair is getting a chance to heal. And it's really nice because I don't use hot tools as much as I used to because I don't need to because I style it once a week. So it's been nice. It's scary, but also nice.
It isn't that so crazy? So, like, that's like the example of the other client who said she could never grow her hair long. Here, you said, "Oh, I can only really grow it to here," and now the extensions are in, and that's such another like thing that is people think that extensions just damage your hair, right? There's all this out there about extensions damaging their hair. Obviously, maybe back in the day, right? I said, how I felt like K-tips. I didn't like how they worked in my clients' hair. I felt like they shed more hair when they came out than the hand tied hair. And I just can't believe like how long your hair can grow with the extensions in. And I think that it has to do something with the fact like one, you're not washing it every day. So when you do wash it, you give it that extra TLC. Do you deep condition
Yep.
pretty much? Yeah, same every time. And then you're of course using really good products when you style it because you have this investment that you want to maintain. Isn't it funny how like when it's free, whatever something is free, you just kind of take it for granted.
Mhm.
So like our hair is our hair until we don't have it anymore. And then all of a sudden we're like, oh my gosh, the minute that you have to really pay to have the hair, now it's like, oh, the sky's the limit. Give me the best products, give me the best styling techniques, all the things.
Yep.
Um, how do you feel about do you use the styling techniques that I taught you in the class too?
Every time.
Awesome. Oh, that makes me happy. Sometimes, because sometimes, and it's always interesting to hear how people style their hair, right? Especially curly hair people, right? But when it comes to the extensions, in order to break apart the rows to make them full, I do feel like you have to utilize that technique in order to get that separation and definition, and then the stacking out of the fullness of the curl. Um, I know you're not a hairstylist, but you sat in on that blueprint class from start to finish. As someone who is like, you're in the hair world when you go in there to get your hair done, but you're not a hairstylist. Like, is there any takeaways that you could say from the day if you remember it? Like, I also know you might have been like glazed over, like in glory of getting your hair and just excited, but like what tidbits or takeaways or just even if it's just one sentence to share about that day, how did you feel about the class that you sat in on?
Awesome. Was a good take. It was a great day. I had a lot of fun that day. I don't think I was glazed over because I've always had an interest in like hair extensions and I like to I watch videos on how they get installed just because I think it's cool. I think it's a really cool thing that people can do this. And I think the biggest takeaway for me is just that it's curly hair is different. And I want people to appreciate that. You can't cut it the same, you can't style it the same. It's just not the same, but it doesn't have to be terrifyingly daunting. I mean, I think it's easy because I have curly hair, but it's not a scary thing. And I think that if more people embraced it, then it would be an easier world for us to live in.
That's I'm so excited that you said that because when I started the education, I had to do like research marketing. I think that's what it was called. Like where I put it out on social media. Can I ask you a couple questions about hair extensions and curly hair? And I interviewed, I want to say something like 16 extension artists. And so many of them, more than half, said that they were fearful of even just touching curly hair extensions.
Mhm,
And I was just like, it's so sad because, you know, right, as the consumer, I just put this out on social media. It was like a little video from the class before I installed your hair. And it said there's such a challenge to sell this to, and then it's a fast clip. And then I go into saying like to the world of extension artists, because we're all taught straight and that's all you see on social media.
mhm,
When it comes to extensions, everything is blown out smooth and curled with a hot tool. And maybe an extension artist might do a curly install, but you'll see like 15 to 1, and then another 30, and maybe they'll pop them in there. Um, and it's like the crazier part is 87% of the world has some form of wave to kink in their hair. So why is it shown that this is the norm?
mhm,
Why is it shown like that this is what you have to do to have perfect extensions? Smooth it out and curl it with a curling iron. Like I'm so bored of seeing it like over and over again. And I think that it is exactly what you said, but it's like you said, it's nothing to be scared of, but everybody's so afraid of it. And I think that hairstylists, this is going into the hair world, and if you've been on TikTok and you've been on YouTube and you watch this, you'll see them say, like, oh my gosh, this curly hair was horrible, this, that, the other, right? Because it's usually all permed hair that comes from China. It's straight hair, permed to be curly. It's gone through a million chemical processes. It's totally compromised. The integrity is off, and the curl is so uniform that in the beginning, you were like, "Oh, I'm afraid that they're gonna be able to spot these extensions like a
Mhm.
sore thumb because it's just gonna stand out." And that's what happens when you have permed extensions, the curl's just too consistent and it doesn't look natural. Um, that would be my wish, is that more stylists would take your advice and not be afraid of curly, because it just is a system and a process, right? Everything that I taught you in the class
Mhm.
was like you follow it by the book. There's no need to reinvent the wheel because I figured it out on my own hair and multiple people like you. And it's like in breaking it down in the steps, did it make it easy for you to understand?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure. I was very nervous going into it thinking, "Okay, I'm gonna have these installed, and they're gonna look great when I walk out the door, I know that, but how am I gonna do this on my own, for the love of God?" Because I was so low maintenance, and my hair naturally, when I would wash it and dry it and style it, would take maybe 20 minutes. So, to have this much time that I'd have to invest in my hair, I was nervous, but it was really easy to follow, it's really easy to do, it's very almost therapeutic to do it, and it's like, and I also did not realize, for anybody watching, how much hair gel you actually need. I was hair gel blind. I would do like a little tiny bit, and I'm like, "Oh, I don't wanna get crusty. I don't wanna have crusty hair," and I had no idea that, like a cast and breaking cast, I didn't really understand that process, so doing it the first time on my own, I thought that I was using maybe like half the bottle of hair gel, but it turned out great. So, I have a giant bottle of hair gel, and I'm not afraid to use it.
That well, and like too, when it comes, if you break down that product consumption by how many days that it lasts you,
Yeah,
right? I mean, you're probably still using more than what you used before each day, if you,
yeah,
because it, and that is due to the product companies tell you, oh, use a dime size amount, use a quarter size amount for your whole head. How about for a section?
yeah.
A section. Like, you need, especially if your hair is long. Like, have you ever had this happen to you where, like, you get it, you style your hair, you dry it, and then you realize you've gotten way too much at the base
Mhm.
and not enough on your end? You're like, oh my gosh, that's it. I ruined the whole week. My ends are,
Yeah,
but
sure
in
do.
that crisp, like everybody fears that crispiness, and it's like that's the foundation of your style, that it breaks apart. I said to you before we started recording, like, your hair looks great. I did mine yesterday. I was trying to break apart this gel cast as much as I could to get my hair full. And literally, I just kept like scrunching it, scrunching it, scrunching it. And now it's perfect. Like, I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, now just stay this way for 5 more
It's
days.
great. I know. I almost feel like I liked second day hair better now. Before it was like I'd style my hair on the day I had to be somewhere because that was my perfect hair. And now my perfect hair is like day 2, day 3, day 4 because then it's had a chance to break up and it's had a chance to loosen up and it just kind of flows better.
Yeah, same. I'm the same. I love it. I love it in that increment. Like, I usually, probably by day 5 or 6 is when I start having to put like this up because it frizzes somehow, like a, half up, half down style. But I love it until it gets to that point too, where it just gets fuller and fuller. And when I was younger too, before I really understood how to style curly hair, the second I would see frizz, I'd be like, oh my gosh, it has to get washed. And now, do you find yourself more okay with a little bit of like what I call functional frizz? Like, you're like,
Oh yeah, I've got some right now and that's okay. And I have, if I need it, I have a little bit of hair oil. So I'll just kind of do a little bit and smooth it out a little bit. But I mean, frizz kind of adds to the texture. It doesn't make it look bad. It just, I've got hair
makes it fuller.
life and that's what's going to happen.
Yeah. I find like it just adds to, it just makes it fuller.
Mhm.
It's like it just gets better and better. Um,
Yeah, the
is
person
there
notices it.
there anything else that you would want to say about those extensions, or your life with the extensions, or the class, or anything that we haven't covered that you've thought about or are thinking about that
Yeah, I mean, they just, at the end of the day, you talk about hair and how to take care of it and how to cut it, but at the end of the day, we do our hair because it makes us feel good. And this makes me feel really good. I feel very confident. I feel like I'm always ready to go. I feel like just $1,000,000 all the time. And it's an awesome feeling. And it's, yeah, sure, you're high maintenance, you've got extensions in, but it's a very low maintenance, high maintenance look. And I love that aspect about my life is I can always look put together. I can always look nice, but I don't have to fuss every single day. And it's been a game changer, honestly.
Yeah, I think that's perfect. I love or the high maintenance to be low maintenance. Like I I'm all about that. My this is a funny story. And then my kids, I have lash extensions too because I love them, right? Like it just I have real oily skin, so mascara always ended up underneath my eyes. And when we started doing lash extensions at our salon, I was like, I'm the first client. It's for me. And my my daughters now, they're like addicted to that eyelash curler,
Yeah.
to curl their lashes. And my one daughter has a routine. She's like, "Oh, I curl it for 2 minutes. Then I go to the other side. I curl that side for 2 minutes. Then I go back to the side for 2 minutes." And she literally sets a timer on her phone. And I'm just like, "Oh my gosh, thank God for lash extensions because I could not handle this." I, but again, the lash extensions cuts down on makeup time.
Right. You're just done.
Just it takes care of everything. And then add in the hair. It's like, well, if every other week you get a lash fill, and every week you style your hair. Sometimes I can go longer than that. It's longer than a week too. Makes my life so much easier in the long run. And it's like that whole high maintenance to be low maintenance. I'm totally about investing in on the front end to get the long return.
Yes, exactly. Plus, I love my salon days when I go in to see Callie and she moves my extensions up. It's like I take the day off of work and they always have these cute little coffees and it's such a great experience. And I'm like, oh, I look forward to every 8 weeks. I'm like, I get to get my hair done today. It's
I
great.
loved being in their salon. I have used so much of the content over and over and over because her salon is so cute.
Yeah.
And it's not even cute, like it's elegant. What do we even call it? It's so pretty in there. They're so nice. Kelsey, the owner, like she couldn't be nicer. Callie is such a sweet, inviting person. I know Josie doesn't work there, but she was in the class. She comes there for her extensions. And it just was so aesthetically pleasing, everything about it. I'm like, I came back and I was like, oh my gosh, I want to redo the whole thing in my whole salon. I want it like Sapphire Salon in Wausau, like so pretty. And the coffee. Yeah. Their coffee is the bomb. What
Yeah. I
it's an espresso machine that she has, right?
think so. Yeah.
And then
They
she
have
has
like all the different flavors and they create little concoctions and oh my gosh, it was good. It's so good.
Yeah, like you could just sit there all day. Like, yeah, this is me getting
Mhm.
my extensions done.
Yep. It's awesome.
Take, yep, I
Every
love
day.
it there. All right. Well, Lisa, thank you so much for your time and coming on. I know we talked a lot about Sapphire Salon. You can find them on Instagram if you want to follow Kelsey or Kelly from there. You can go right there. Sapphire Salon in Wausau, Wisconsin will lead you to them. As always, you can find me on Instagram at Jennifer_Johnson_Janish, Adored Salon, Adored Signature Hand Tied Hair Extensions with underscores separating it all. And thank you for watching the Curly Girls podcast today. I hope this added value to your day. And of course, it helps us if you subscribe or leave a review or follow us, depending on where you're watching or listening. And if you think a friend could find value from this, share it with them because that's how we grow. So thanks. Have a great day, and I'll see you again soon.